All right, I think it's 8 sharp. We should begin. Now, before I begin, can we get everyone to turn on their cameras? It's kind of lonely over here, just talking to the empty screen. So can I get at least 80% of you to turn on your cameras? That would be great. So I'll just wait for more cameras to be on. No worries, Wendy. Okay, thank you, Jeshani. Thank you, Benny. I love the background, Benny. Just waiting for a few more people to turn on their cameras. Yeah, I see Cynthia put a love. Okay. All right. You're just waiting for a few more. Please turn on your cameras because today it's going to be an interactive session. You're not going to be sitting down and listening to me for the next 2 hours. All right. So it's going to be a lot of interaction, a lot of activities, a lot of participation. And for that, I will need your cameras to be on. Right. Just waiting. Only 2 people right now. Okay. Let me change the rules a little bit. Thank you, Jeshani and Benny. All right. If you are here with me, can you type the yes in the chat box as well? If you are ready to go, type a yes in the chat box. Right, Wendy is ready. Joshua, I had a Joshua before, right? Okay. Right, so welcome to today's session, which is overcoming the fear of public speaking. So we'll go through this, and at the end of today, I will teach you a few tips that you can use to overcome your public speaking fear, if you had any. And it can also come in very useful in terms of your presentations, when you go out to work, when you're supposed to get an interview, anything at all. Okay. All right. So let me start off by introducing myself. All right. So let me introduce myself correctly. Some of you guys are my students, so pretend you're hearing this for the first time. Right. For those of you who have been my students. Right. So my name is Gurmit Singh. And today, or rather this year, I am 27 years old. 27 years old. All right. Before I move on, how many of you believe I'm actually 27? Type yes if you do. No if you think I'm older. Wendy said, so young, thank you. What? You don't believe I'm Benny? Okay. If thank you. Look like 20. All right. Unfortunately, I'm not your lecturer. Also, I'll give you extra marks. I'm just kidding. All right. No. Okay. I lied. I totally lied. I am not 27 this year. I am 37 years old. So in 3 years, you can officially call me an uncle and I won't get angry. All right. So I'm 37 years old this year. Now, a little bit about me. I come from the land of good food. All right. The state with the best food of all. So if you're not from this state, please don't hate me. I am from Penang, originally from Penang. Living in Penang, lived in Penang for many, many years. But 4 years ago, I moved to Kuala Lumpur. Now, a little bit about me. When I first started off working, I was not a lecturer. I was not a speaker. I was not a trainer. I was not a teacher. I was not a coach. I was, and I'm not making this up, I was actually a chef in a hotel. A chef in a hotel. So let me ask you all this question. How many of you can cook? All right, let me rephrase the question. How many of you all can cook? Even if you can cook instant noodles, and egg also counted. Can you just type a yes in the chat? Can cook to survive. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. All right, enough to live alone. That's good. All right, so that was my first job as a chef. After a while, I left the industry. So if you guys are studying hospitality management or culinary arts, please don't be discouraged. Okay, I left because I wanted a change of career. I started my own business. Okay, so with a friend of mine, we started a tuition center, an English tuition center. And for 4 years, it was doing really, really well until a bunch of idiots started opening up their centers next to ours. All right, and they stole our customers, aka our students, and I had to close the thing down because we are not making any more money. Right after that, I went into lecturing and teaching. I went into Olympia College Penang and Inti College Penang. And 4 years ago, I moved down to Kuala Lumpur. And today, I'm a life skills facilitator in Taylor's University. And during the weekends and on my free time, I actually train multinational companies. So I'm a corporate trainer as well for multinational companies. Now, let me tell you two things that are weird about me. The first one is I get lost easily. I get lost easily, especially since I've moved to Kuala Lumpur. You know, every time I am driving, right, Waze says turn left. I look at the road. Oh my God, there are 3 lefts. Which left do I take? That's such a Penang thing. Right? Whenever I park, I'm in a shopping mall, right? For example, I live like 15 minutes away from Mid Valley. I've been there hundreds of times, but if you put me in Mid Valley today, I will get lost. I guarantee you I will get lost. So that's the first thing that is weird about me. The second thing that is unique or strange about me is this. I married a Chinese girl from Sibu, Sarawak. Right, so Penang one side here, Sarawak another side. So you're probably wondering, Gurmit, can you speak Mandarin or Chinese? My answer is absolutely yes. I can say awesome words like Ni hao ma, right? How are you? And Wabu chitao. I don't know. Okay, that's the only 2 words that I can say in Mandarin, to be fair. Okay? Right. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Let's have fun for the next 2 hours and learn a little bit about overcoming the fear of public speaking. All right. So let's start with a very cool function that we have on Zoom, which is called the annotate function. Hopefully you have used it before. Sorry, still having dinner, cannot switch on camera yet. It's okay, you can eat on screen, Adrian. I don't mind. I've had my dinner, so I won't get hungry. Right. So what I want you to do, I want you to take the annotate function, just like what Tasha is doing. I want you to just randomly draw on the screen. I just want to see if you have gotten it. So click on annotate, click on draw. Click on view options, click on annotate, and click on draw. You can pick any color you want. Right. So I see a lot of people have gotten the color that you are someone awesome. Okay, I don't know who you're saying that to, Adrian, but I'll assume it's to me. Thank you very much. Right. Okay, so everyone has their annotate function. Now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna stop you from drawing on the screen. So let's stop for 30 seconds. Okay, stop drawing for a while. I'm gonna clear the drawing. Okay, wait. Stop first. All right. Now, there is this word puzzle. Don't start yet. I am going to give you 1 minute. There are 8 emotions hidden in this word puzzle. I need you to find those 8 emotions by highlighting them. Right? So 1 minute. Wait, let me just go on the timer. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. 8 emotions. Highlight them using the annotate function. Okay. Excited. All right. Angry, worried, tired, sad, happy. There's one more. Okay, well done. 12 seconds. This is like a new record. All right, so let's check if it's correct. So there's anger, there's worry, all right, there's excitement, there's tiredness, there is calm, there is sad, there is happiness. All right, and of course, there's surprise. All right, so these are the 8 emotions that we normally feel, 8 basic emotions. So why am I asking you to do this? Simply because I want to ask you a question. All right, sorry to disable the annotate for a moment. All right, I want to ask you guys a bunch of questions. So first one, which emotion best represents how you feel about public speaking? All right, and which emotion best represents how do you want to feel with regards to public speaking? Now, before you answer your question, I've been speaking for too long. So this part is a self-introduction for me to get to know you. All right. So I'll call a few of you at random. If you have been selected, tell me your name. what are you studying entails, and which emotion best represents how you feel about public speaking, right? If you want to elaborate in 30 seconds, just elaborate. All right, so let me start by calling someone at random. Okay, let's see, who do I call? Okay, let's go with Tasha Asifa. Could you unmute yourself, please? Tasha Asifa.
Yes.
Right, so which is the emotion that you feel when you are having to go through public speaking?
Oh, okay. First of all, my name is Tasha, and I'm taking Bachelor of Mass Comm
Okay.
in PR and Marketing. And the emotion that represent what I feel about public speaking
Okay.
is I'm excited.
Excited. Okay, that's a good emotion to have. Thank you, Tasha. All right,
Okay.
let's go with let's see, is Harvey around? Harvey Lee Win Ming. I hope I haven't butchered your name. Harvey, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
My name is Harvey. I'm currently taking International Business and Marketing,
Okay.
and I feel worried for public
Worried.
speaking.
Okay. All right. Thank you for being honest, Harvey. All right,
Welcome.
let's go with two more people. Let's go with, let's see, who else do I pick? Okay, Vignesh Sivanesan. You look very formal with that picture of yours, so I thought I'll call you. Vignesh, are you there?
Yeah, so my name is Vignesh. I am taking Bachelor of Computer Science,
Okay.
and my emotion will be worried as well.
Worried as well. Okay. All right. Now, for the rest of you, if you're wondering, right, Gurmeet, why aren't you calling like Jeshani and Benny? Guess what? Since their cameras are on, I know they're here. I'm not going to call them yet. All right. So if you want to reduce your chances, turn on your camera. I'm just saying. All right. So thank you very much. Let's go with one more person. Okay, let's go with let's go with April. April Lim. Are you there, April?
Yes, hi.
Hi, April.
Hi, I'm April and I'm currently studying event management in Taylor's.
Okay.
And my feeling when public speaking also worry as well.
All right. Thank you, April, for sharing that. Now, let me ask you all this question. I have been doing public speaking. I've been speaking. I've been teaching. I've been training. I've been in competitions for the last 12 years. All right. So the last 12 years. So let me ask you all this question. Which emotion do you think I feel before giving a speech, giving a training, or giving a class? Can you type out in the chat box? Which one do you think I'm worried? Is scared, excited, happy? All right, I'll be honest, okay? Today I'm going to be honest with tired. No, I don't feel tired. All right, unless it's a class that is really, really bad. Okay, but still I try to be excited. It's a mix of emotions. I feel excited that I'm sharing something important. At the same time, I'm also worried. I'm also afraid. All right. So if you're feeling afraid, if you're feeling worried, if you're feeling nervous when it comes to public speaking, right, pat yourself on the back because you are a human being. All right. If you don't feel any emotions before you give a presentation, a speech, all right, or if when it comes to communication, then you're probably two things. Either you are a robot or you're an alien from outer space. Okay, so it's natural to feel afraid, worried, excited, and a mix of emotions. So take solace in the fact that you feel those emotions, and it's normal. Right. So the first part, what we're going to do is we are going to look at the biggest challenges that we have seen in public speaking. The biggest challenges that I have gone through, that a lot of people have gone through. All right. So let me ask you all this question. Are you ready for the biggest challenges in public speaking? Type ready if you are ready. If you're not ready, just type ready anyway in the chat box. Okay, still waiting. All right, a lot of ready. Okay, Lego. Let's go. All right. Okay, so let's start. The first one is this. Using the same style of communication, no matter who your audience is. no matter who your audience is. All right. Later on, I'll explain what do I mean by this, and I'll highlight 3 out of the 5 styles here. But using the same style of communication, no matter who the audience is. Let me give an example. All right. I have a brother. Okay, I do have a brother. Why am I saying it that way? I have a brother, younger brother, who is a really good public speaker. Now he has joined this club called Toastmasters. I'm also a member of Toastmasters, but he joined that club way before I did, many years before I did. All right. So I remember there was one time he was delivering a speech. The title of the speech was Happy Juice. Basically, of encouraging people to drink alcohol, right, in the speech. Now, one problem. When he first delivered the speech, his audience were a bunch of alcoholics. Let's be honest, okay? So everyone was happy, everyone was engaged, everyone was like, okay, yes, this is a good speech. So he won that contest. The next level, he delivered the speech again. Thank God, the second level, also a lot of alcoholics. I don't know why there are a lot of alcoholics in Penang, but anyway, right? Again, he won. Second level, won again. When he went to the third level, he was supposed to deliver that speech in USM Penang. All right, USM, there are a lot of Muslims over there. Okay. And when he delivered the same style of communication, the same speech, there were not many laughters on that day. Needless to say, he didn't win, right? So yeah, using the same style of communication, this is something that we need to take note of that a lot of people do. Second one, biggest challenges is the lack of confidence. Let me ask you all this question. Have you ever doubted yourself when it comes to public speaking? Type yes if you have, no if you have not. All right, all the time, yes, always, forever me. Okay, so it's normal. Sometimes we lack relatable. Okay, yeah, it's normal that sometimes we lack confidence. Later on, I'll share with you my journey of public speaking and how I overcame this. Right, the third one. Have you ever had a speaker, when that speaker speaks, you just cringe, because it's like, the guy is supposed to speak, but he's acting. There's just too much drama going on in the speech, in the talk, in the lecture, and so on. Have you ever had listened to a speaker like this? Type a yes if you have. Like over the top drama. Not very often. Let me give you an example. All right, and this is a true story. So there was this time I attended a Toastmasters speech contest. All right, I attended a Toastmasters speech contest, not as a contestant. I was an audience member. Right now, the speaker that was supposed to speak was this very senior Toastmaster, very senior speaker. So he starts off, and I'm not making this up, okay? It will sound very ridiculous, but I swear it's true, okay? So he starts his speech by lying down on the floor. All right, there's a stage, and he's on the floor on the stage. His head is down. All right, so the contest chairperson reads out the title of his speech, and then this is how he starts his speech. He starts banging his hands on the stage. Papa, Papa, wake up, Papa. All right. He was talking about his dad. There was a problem that happened with his dad. But it was so over the top, I burst out laughing, And here's the worst part. Here's the bad part. I was the only one who was laughing, Can you imagine, right? He starts his speech, he's speaking, he did that drama. I laughed. Everyone turns around to look at me. What did you just do? Right? But to me, that was over the top. Right? I have listened to really good speeches where they have talked about their parents, their siblings, the hardships that they went through, but there was no drama, just sharing. All right. So for me, drama is one of the biggest pet peeves. Right? If you love it, that's fine. But to me, speaking is speaking, drama is drama. Right? The fourth one, no emotion. let me ask you all this question. I'm not going to talk about Taylor's lecturers because they are all really good. Okay, let's talk about your school. All right. Have you ever had a teacher in school who was really boring? Type yes in the chat box if you had that, a teacher that was boring. Okay, let me ask you all, why did you find the teacher boring? Okay, let me call upon, okay, let's go with Daryl, Vera, Tama. What did the teacher do that made it boring?
Maybe no emotion, and then never call the students about it.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, so there's no emotion, never call the students about it.
Yeah, so that why it's boring.
Okay, thank you. Let's go with Ifat. Ifat, am I saying your name correctly, Ifat? Hopefully.
Yes, you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit soft, but audible, kind of.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the teacher that I was thinking about, he never interacted a lot with all the students and just, kept on going about the lecture and just talking about not interacting a lot. So that's what made the lectures boring.
Okay. All right. I don't want the name of the lecturer. All right. Every time we're not talking about lecturers, we're talking about teachers. Right. Maybe because the whole online situation. Actually, all right, I shouldn't go there. All right, let's go with one more person. Let's go with Mastura. Mastura, what was the thing that your teachers did that made it boring?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. For me, the teacher was like, didn't have like eye contact with the student, and then his tone is like literally the same all the time when he was teaching. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mastura, for that. Now, let me tell you about the most boring lecturer I have ever seen. Now, this lecturer, I saw him 8 years ago. All right. I still remember that lecture hall, right? The lecturer was in front of the lecture hall. The lecturer was teaching. After about 20 minutes into the lecture, right, two students at the back of the class fell asleep. After about 40 minutes into the lecture, the students in the middle row started talking to each other because it was so boring. All right. After an hour into the lecture, two students from the front row got up, loudly exclaimed in Malay, "This lecturer is really boring. Lecturer ni boring sangat." All right, in Malay, which means like this lecturer is boring. And they walked out of the lecture room. Let me ask you all this question. Who do you think that lecturer was? Who do you think the lecturer was? Can you type out in the chat box? Okay, still no answers, waiting for answers. All right. Yeah. Plot twist, was it you? Yes, it was me. All right, it was me. And you know why? I'm a student. Yeah, Wendy cannot lah. She has heard of this story. All right. Okay, so you know why I was boring, why I lost the crowd, why the students were like, wasn't paying attention. It is because I didn't care for what I was sharing. I had no emotion. So if you're sharing something, when it comes to a speech, when it comes to communicating with someone, when it comes to a presentation, if you don't care about what you're sharing, emotions won't come through. And if it doesn't come through, forget about it. Nobody's going to listen to you. All right. That day, I found out very quickly, thanks to that few students, that I need to put in a lot of emotions. All right. The next one and the last one is comparing yourself with other speakers. Let me ask you all this question. Have you ever been envious, or have you ever compared yourself with another person? For example, let's say you guys are students, right? You see another student delivering a fantastic presentation and you are like, why is that guy so good? Why am I not as good as this person? Right? Dorian said all the time. What about the rest of you? Has this happened before? Okay, yep, always, every time. Let me share with you a true story, okay? Now, earlier I said that my brother was a Toastmaster. He's no longer a Toastmaster, he's just too busy. He's a doctor, by the way, in GH, General Hospital, Penang. Now, when I joined Toastmasters, right, just to let you guys know, Toastmasters is a public speaking club. Over there, we deliver speeches and we evaluate each other. So when I first joined Toastmasters, right, immediately as the elder brother, I was compared with a younger brother. I got a lot of comments, Gurmeet, why is your brother much better than you? Your brother is funny, your brother is so confident, your brother is amazing. Why you struggle compared to him, right? So indirectly, right, after a few people asking me that question, right, I used to compare myself with him, subconsciously. Of course, I didn't tell him, right? Yeah, what a typical Asian thing, exactly, Benny. All right. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is at home, at our house, my mom's house, right? Every time there was a speech contest, my brother will bring home a giant trophy, put it in the cabinet, right? Next speech contest, another trophy, put in the cabinet. Another speech contest, another trophy. Do you know what I used to bring back? A participation certificate. Thank you very much for participating in this contest, Gurmeet Singh Dhaliwal. Right? That's all I brought back. Right? So I used to compare myself with my brother all the time. Right? Until I met someone to change my perspective on things. Now, before we go on, I'm going to go through not all 5 of this in detail. We're going to go through using the same style of communication, too much drama and no emotion. All right, so we're going to go through this 3 very quickly. Now, when it comes to the same style of communication, I would like to show you a video right now and tell me, how do you feel? So this is a video of a speaker who is introducing himself. How do you feel when the speaker introduces himself? All right, so it's a very short video. We're going to watch this. Tell me, how do you feel? And be honest, okay, in the chat box. All right, and then I'll call a few of you guys to share. Okay, let's watch the video. Hello, everyone. My name is Gurmeet, and today I would like to introduce myself. So I am 36 years old this year, and I am a lecturer in Taylor's University. Now, besides that, I, over the weekend, also do a lot of training. So what is the training that I do? For example, I teach a lot of big multinational companies how to be better leaders, how to be better speakers, and how to be better at their work. So once again, my name is Gurmeet. Nice to meet you all. Kind of feel like he would. I won't follow you, Shani, don't worry. All right. And no, Wendy, I'm not going to do that class this way. All right. So tell me, how do you feel? Okay, besides being scared for my life, feel my soul leaving, too much eye contact. Now, this is fun and games, but here's the point. I have a friend who teaches enthusiasm is that thing. I like the fact that you're trying to, all right, at least encourage me a little bit. All right. Now, I'll be honest, okay? I have a friend who teaches young kids, right? 10 years old, 11 years old and below, 11 and below, okay? So he teaches them English and he speaks like this to them. Do you know how I know he speaks like this? Every time there is a Toastmasters meeting, by the way, he's a member of my Toastmasters club, right? Every time there's a Toastmasters meeting, he will start his speech like this. And all I can think is, what the hell, man? I'm an adult. I'm not an 11-year-old. Why are you talking to me like this? Right? Literally, he will start his speech like, hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Oh, God. I turn off my camera and then I tell myself, okay, time for a toilet break and to eat my dinner. Right? So the point I'm trying to make, right? When you use the same style of communication for every single person, right? No matter who the audience is, you turn them off, you switch them off just like that, right? So let's try not, okay. So besides that, that example, all right, that when you use the same style of communication with different audience, you turn them off or you switch them off. Besides that point, what is the other problem? What are other problems that you can find from using the same style of communication? Can you type out in the chat box? What are some other problems that might arise from this? So imagine no uniqueness, okay? All right. What about the rest? How do you feel? Like reading monotone, okay? Reading a poem. I didn't know I had a poetry sounding voice. Won't connect to the audience, yeah. Worst of all, audience members might feel disrespected. For me, when he spoke like this in his speech, I asked myself this question: why is he treating me like a small little kid? Why is he treating me like a small little kid? On the other hand, it's like getting taught by a kindergarten teacher. Even kindergarten teachers are better, you know. It's condescending, exactly, Dorian. All right. So yeah, when it comes to and more importantly, right, what I asked myself is this question. I asked myself this question when he was delivering his speech. Does this guy care enough for me to change the style of communication? All right. So indirectly, you're telling the audience, right? If you use the same style, no matter who your audience is, you use the same style, it shows the audience you don't care for them, right? I'm here to do a job. I'm just going to get through this part. I'm going to just deliver my speech. You like it, you don't like it, I don't care. I'm going to just finish it. That is what you're indirectly telling the audience when you use the same style of communication. All right. So that's the first one, using the same style of communication. Let me ask you all this question. Have you ever been guilty of doing this? Now, I'm not going to say that I am better than anyone. I've been guilty of doing this as well. So have you ever been guilty of doing this? Using the same style of communication? Just type a yes if you have, no if you have not. I'm not talking about talking to kids like that, okay? In general, have you ever used the same style of communication before? Not really. Okay, that, thank God for that, Danny. Okay, what about the rest? Can you type out in the chat box? It's a yes or no. If you have, yes. If you haven't, no.
Sorry, the question was like whether we are guilty of using the same style, right?
Yep. All right.
No.
Probably have.
No.
Adrian, yeah.
No.
What about you? No. Okay.
No.
Right.
So I think it's like it's automatic sometimes when you do public speaking or I guess other forms of it, emceeing. Usually your style will automatically change.
Yeah.
At least I have that. At least I think some of us may have that instinctive change because we know the setting is different. It's like we won't talk like as though we are having a casual conversation. We are friends in a public speaking context, like the way how we MC.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, Adrian, and I'm glad to see that you guys don't do this. Okay, so please care enough for your audience members. Change the way you speak. Change your style of communication depending on who your audience is. All right. Now, let's look at drama. Right. Earlier we talked about drama. Let me show you a speech by this guy. Just to let you know, he was the world champion of public speaking in 2012. But I hate his speech. I can't stand this speech. You know, every time I see this speech, I got to roll my eyes. In a moment, you will see why. Okay. Later on, so we're going to watch this speech. What you need to do is just take some notes, what you liked, what you didn't like for the speech in a moment. After the speech, I'm going to open up breakout rooms. You're going to discuss what was the biggest problems that you could see from this speech. All right. So let me play the speech. It's a 7-minute speech, but let's look at the speech and figure out what you liked about it or didn't like. Okay. So his name is Ryan Avery. He's from Australia. Been a speaker for many, many years, been a Toastmaster for many years. The title of his speech is Trust is a Must. Okay, let's watch.
Good luck. I'm at the altar, sweating in my wool suit. She is glowing in her white dress. Asks me the most important question of my life. Ryan, do you promise me? Before I make my commitment, I let my mind rewind like an old school VHS tape. And it takes me back to high school when I would plead with my mom to let me go to parties. Mom, please let me go. There'll be no alcohol, I promise. Mom in her nightgown and bunny slippers smiled sweetly. All right, I trust you. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, anybody who's ever lied to Mama before. We're having fun in a field of small town Texas. My friend Taylor passes me another beer when bright lights freeze us in place. The man behind the light, big belly over a belt buckle, lip full of dip. Sheriff Snodgrass. Caught us red-handed, red Solo cups in hand. Boys, it's your lucky night. Either fill this bag to the top with cigarette butts, or we start calling mamas. We grabbed that bag, and there we were, 3 macho teenagers, Taylor, Eric, and, well, 2 macho teenagers and me. Crawling in a semi-sober state, collecting soggy cigarette butts all night. Next morning, we took that bag, we dropped it off at the station. There is some angry Southern woman yelling in a nightgown and bunny slippers. Like a human bulldozer, Mom plows through the crowd. Son, what happened? Mom, if you ever worried about me smoking, don't. Guys and I had to pick up 5 pounds of cigarette butts. Why, Ryan? There was alcohol at the party, Mom. Son, I'm disappointed. Worse, I can't believe you. Trust is a must. Times have changed. When Dad and I were your age, we picked up 7 pounds. It took me a long time to earn Mom's trust back. And after a summer of her house arrest, it was my senior year and I became a wannabe entrepreneur. This man offered me buckets of money to build him a website. New car, here I come. I spent weeks hunched in a chair, glued to a screen, typing on a Cheeto-stained keyboard. I finished. We met, handed over the files. He checked for his checkbook, couldn't find it. Promised he would send a check over immediately. No problem. We shook hands. I'll get paid in a couple days. Well, a couple days passed, and where I'm from, handshakes mean something. I called him. His phone's disconnected. I Googled him. He gave me a fake name. What? I complained to Mom, and do you know what she said? Trust is a must, isn't it, son? Don't you hate when parents are right? Like one of those annoying hotel alarm clocks, it woke me up. How was I supposed to expect a man to keep a handshake when I couldn't even keep a promise to Mom? I learned a promise is only as good as the person who makes it. I was finally able to leave small town Texas, and I went to college in Colorado. And I met the girl. Tall, curly hair, a tattoo or two. She is beautiful, and I'm just some punk with pimples. And after a few hours of laughing, she is bringing home to mama material. A couple dates later, I was up front and honest. Chelsea, I'm not looking for a girlfriend, I'm looking for a wife. I'm leaving the country, won't be back for 7 months, and I want kids. Warning though, this, 12 pounds at birth. Sorry, Mom. I have no idea how I convinced that girl to be my girlfriend, but I did. And we started building our foundation of trust 3,000 miles apart. I wrote her a handwritten letter every day while I was gone. I doodled what our future kids would look like, dreamed of still holding her hand at 90. Decided no bunny slippers. When I got back home, I met with Chelsea's parents, and I got that seal of approval. I told them, one day I'll have more business experience. I'll do my best raising a couple 12-pound babies. I will love that girl when her curls turn gray. Before the wedding, my mom reminded me that trust is a must if I want this marriage to last. I am at the altar, sweating in my wool suit, and Chelsea is glowing in her white dress. Chelsea, I promise.
All right, so that was the speech. Tell me how do you find the speech? So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. What do you think about the speech? What do you think the speaker did right? What do you think the speaker can improve on? So we're just going to have 5 minutes. Let me see. Okay, I'll just have 6 breakout rooms because we only have another hour to go. So let's just take 5 minutes to discuss, come up with a few things that you like. So maybe 2 things that you liked about the speech, 2 things that you think the speaker did that he can improve on. All right. So 2 good, 2 bad. Let me open up the room. So please click join once you've seen the breakout room.
Folks, please go to your breakout rooms here. Is this the time that we know who is actually here and who's not?
No, wait, Miss Dorian, I have 2 accounts and I'm in the room 5 already.
Oh, okay, obviously.
So I'll leave one of my accounts here.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Right.
Normally that's what I do for my classes. So there'll be a one.
Right, even for my sessions also. I always like wait for the breakout room to see who's actually here.
It's such a good way.
Most are here, lah, so not bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will join the other rooms now, lah.
Okay, sure. All right, I think everyone should be back in 3 seconds time, or maybe 10 seconds. Yep, 10 seconds. Okay, so I think everyone is here. If you are here with me, can you type a yes in the chat box so we can begin the sharing session?
But how do you make sure the ones who's not here will answer you?
Oh, that's the point. That's the point. I want to see who's here, who's not. All right. Thanks, Adrian. Okay, let's go with room number 1, which is Evita, Fidela, Harvey, Hazik, Ko Yun Tung, Rachel, and Vanessa. Right? Who wants to share on behalf of your group? Or do I pick someone at random? Okay, let's go with Hazik now.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Hi, Hazik.
Hi.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I can't think of like two things which I like or dislike, but I can think of at least one. And that is, for one, what I like about having some drama. I'm not sure if at least there's drama in it, but what I like when there is drama added, at least it helps captivate the judge's attention.
Okay.
So I don't want to like explain too detail about it, but when there's movement, when we speak, it helps to, I'd say, wow the audience and wow the judges. So that's what I like. And then moving on to what I don't like, when there's too much drama, sometimes if we are not careful with this drama thing, sometimes we can unconsciously communicate in ways we don't realize. So
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Hazik. So you're okay with a little bit of drama, but too much is too much. Basically.
Yes.
All right, so let's go with the second group, which is Ifat, Lim Yong, obviously, Ong, Sabrina, Tasha, Vien, and Yona. Let's go with Sabrina. Sabrina, are you there?
Sabrina Tan.
Yep.
Okay. We'll start with the bad things first. So the first thing that we didn't like was that it was, like the 3 words on the screen right now is too much drama. It was too dramatic. I felt that he would suit talking to a room full of children, where it was supposed to be slow and more dramatic, more action-y. Yeah, so those were the bad points. For the good points, personally, I think he was quite more comedic, which made him engaging.
Okay. So it's comedic time.
Yeah, and he got a lot of the audience to like applause for him. So yeah. And
go ahead.
I like that he, how at the beginning he was so sort of like being funny and all that stuff we would find cringy, but like when he was talking about his his wife, about the gray hair, when he turned into like a serious voice, I thought that was like quite captivating. It's the change of like tone, like when he's serious, you sort of like you're more drawn to what he's saying.
Yeah.
So those were the good points.
All right, thank you, Sabrina and earlier Hazik. Right, just to let you know, to be fair, right, Toastmasters clap for anyone and everyone. Right? Yeah. Anyway, yep, I agree with your points though. That your viewpoint that there are some things that he did right. Let's go with room number 3. Biani, Celeste, Chinting, Chien, Fuad, Mastura, Yukta Punjabi. Wait, who is that? Yun Ying Wong. Okay, let's go with Fuad. Fuad, are you there? Fuad Khatri.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, I think you have an echo, Fuad.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you, Fuad. And I can hear myself as well. Okay, maybe Fuad is having some issues with his volume. So never mind, we go with Celeste. Celeste, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Celeste. So what do you think about the speech?
I think just like what everyone else agree, it's a little bit too much drama in the beginning part.
Yep.
But actually eventually into the speech, it was toning down a little bit. So I think his style is more like, I think his drama is to capture the audience's attention, I think.
Okay.
But I guess not everyone likes it. Like you mentioned, like there's different ways that you can like speak to different audiences, but
Mm.
I believe that there are some audience who did not enjoy it as well. Me personally, I don't really like it, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with it because in the end, it kind of toned down a little bit. Yeah. And I guess his speech also has meaning, especially like near the end where he suddenly becomes like serious. So yeah, it's really interesting to see that style because not every speaker speaks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let's go to room number 4. Let's go with Hemani Mahindra Raj. Hemani, are you there? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So overall, sorry. Overall, some of the things we liked was, or at least some of the members in the group liked, was that he was very expressive, and he was being himself generally, and he also used the stage a lot, which was good. But then for the dislikes was I think we thought it was more of like a performance rather than a storytelling. And more like storytelling rather than like giving a speech or something. And then it was also a bit long-winded and dramatic, as others said. But we think this is partly due to the southern accent he used, because that's generally quite dramatic, at least to like an international audience. So maybe Americans may have found it less dramatic, I'm not sure. But other than that, I think just a bit too much movement at some bits. But
Alright.
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Hemani. Let's go with the second last room. Let's go with Joshua Hing. Joshua, are you there? Is Joshua around? Okay, Joshua isn't around. Let's go with Lee Boon Hao. Boon Hao, are you there?
Yes, hi sir. Hello.
Hi. Go ahead.
Yeah. We feel that he's a bit distracting, like too much movement and everything. And the way he speaks, I feel like it's more like stand-up comedian style of speaking. Yeah, but the good thing about his way of speech is he could get a lot of attention from the audience. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Boon Hao. Let's. Is that all, Boon Hao?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's go with the last group. Let's go with. Okay, since Wendy has been talking, typing a lot, so let's go with Wendy. Wendy, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. I know I call you a lot in class also, but don't mind. Call you here as well.
Yeah. So the two things I like is that he's confident. He actually doesn't stutter when he talks.
Yep.
It's just like very clear cut. And then he's just good at public speaking in like generally.
Okay.
But the two things I don't like is that his over drama actually creates quite cringy. It's really cringy, and then it actually left me like speechless, and I don't know what he's doing. I kind of lost track of what he's talking also.
Okay.
Movement and whatever he said. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Wendy. So the point I'm trying to make, right? Sometimes when you have too much drama in your speech, it distracts the audience from the message. Now, I'm not going to show you the entire speech. I'm just going to play 1 minute of a speech of one of the speakers that I really like. His name is Huang Yuyang. He's from China. So let's look at his style of speaking, and you tell me, which style do you prefer, the first one or the second one? And don't take note of the fact that I prefer Huang rather than Ryan. Okay. So I'm just going to play 1 minute of Huang's speech. His name is the title of his speech is 4 words. So let's just watch this for a minute. I'm not going to play the entire 7 minutes. Okay.
Toastmasters and friends, have you ever met anyone who just drove you nuts? Yeah. Somebody who gets on your nerves, that pushes all the wrong buttons. Yeah. All the married couples. Not that. But isn't it true? More often than not, it's the people closest to us. Our friends, our families, our loved ones. They're the ones who frustrate us the most. Now for me, it was my housemate Andy. You see, Andy and I, we shared a place for 3 years in China. And he was one of those guys who was just a mess. Every single night without fail, he would leave his unfinished dinner out on the coffee table. I'd say to him, Andy, can you clean that up? He'll say, I'll do it later. And the Coke cans, the orange peels, the candy wrappers, the chip packets, I'll do it later.
All right, so that is Kwong. I'm not going to play the entire speech. Tell me, which one do you prefer? The style of speaking of Ryan. If you prefer Ryan, type an R in the chat box. If you prefer Kwong, type a K in the chat box. All right. So yeah, no hesitation. Yeah, exactly. So the point I'm trying to make, right? If you use related so hard, all right. So the point I'm trying to make: do not have too much drama. A little bit like what Fuad said earlier is fine, all right, but don't have too much. If you have too much, it distracts the audience from your message. Right. So with that note, let me go through one last part, and we're going to take a break. All right. So for this one, okay, for this one, let me do. Okay, let me just go through this very quickly. So the last one is no emotion. Earlier we were talking about boring lecturers, boring teachers, boring speakers, boring communicators. All right. So if you do not have emotion, people basically don't care about your speech. So let me share with you this guy, this old man. He has passed away, unfortunately, in 2017. He was a mentor. He was a friend. He was basically a really, really good speaker. So just to let you know, this guy's name is Gerald Green. He used to be, or rather, he founded Toastmasters in Malaysia. So he brought Toastmasters from America to Malaysia. All right. Now, I remember the first time I delivered a speech, my speech was monotonous. My speech was very boring. My speech was like, it couldn't connect with anyone, you know. So at the end of the meeting, right, I came up to this gentleman, asked him this question: what do you think about my speech? He used two words: no emotion. And then he shared with me this quote that he uses too much, right, a lot of times, his favorite quote. And today, looking back, it makes a lot of sense. The quote is this: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you care about what you're sharing, put in the emotions. For example, let's say you are sharing a talk about feminism, feminist issues, and you sound bored. People might start questioning: do you really believe what you're sharing? Do you really care about what you're sharing? All right. So, for example, let's say you are sharing feminist issues, maybe a touch of anger is needed, right? If you're sharing a good news, for example, a touch of happiness is needed, all right? So the point I'm trying to make here is, if you do not have emotions behind your speeches, behind your communication, behind your presentations, people won't care. People won't care for your presentation, right? So with that note, we are going to take a 5-minute break. So let me just stop sharing so I can share a countdown timer with you guys. Okay, this one, Wendy probably has seen this a ton of time, but never mind. Right, so I'm going to share this. Please be back after 5 minutes. Not this one. Right, so once we are back after 5 minutes, we are going to practice what we have been talking about earlier. Right, so for now, I'll see you in 5 minutes. All right, so welcome back. Some of you guys like that countdown timers. Okay. All right, so if you are back with me, just type a yes in the chat box so I know you guys are back. So we can begin the second part, which is where you guys will be talking most of the time. All right. So yeah, before I start, let me just share my slides again. All right, so everyone's back. Okay, so let's go with okay. Second year. All right, like the replies in the chat box. All right, so today's session is all about overcoming the fear of public speaking. You're probably wondering, okay, we talked about the issues faced, we talked about being authentic speaker, but how do I overcome the fear of public speaking? 3 ways, or rather 3 steps. Right, so the first one is visualize. Step 2, you will never get better at something unless you practice it. And step 3, you reflect on your performance. Right, so now, okay, we are done with this. We have gone for a break. So we're going to start with the visualize. Okay, so for this, can I get you guys to go to menti.com? Menti.com. All right, so before you go to menti.com, imagine that you're supposed to give, or rather you're going to give a very important presentation. This presentation would determine that you get a job or you graduate from your degree. All right. So what is the first word that comes into your mind before that presentation? Okay, so let's go to menti.com. I'll just put it in the chat box. And I'm going to stop sharing so I can share the code and the screen. All right, so I'll share my screen. Remember, what is the first word that goes into your mind when it comes to giving an important presentation that will determine your future? What is that one word to describe what are you thinking in your mind? All right, so okay, right. So use this to go into the menti.com. All right, use the code 21386232 and type out just one word that best describes what you're thinking at that time. It could be an emotion, it could be a thought. Determination, okay. All right, determine, KA. All right, audience, okay. Confidence. Okay, confidence seems to be a very popular word. All right, charisma, I see uniqueness, determined, attractive. All right, oh no. Technically, those are 2 words, but I'll accept it. Slow, all right, calm, satisfaction, content. Yay. All right. Visualize. All right. Visualize, practice, and reflect. Adrian. We're going to go through one by one. Okay. So don't worry. So we're going through the visualize first. Okay. Motivated, audience, focus, calm, endeavor. Okay. That's unique. Content, engage. All right, I'll give you 5 more seconds to share with me what is the first word that goes into your mind. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so time's up. Thank you very much for sharing. Now, let me ask you all this question. Would you like me to share my struggles with public speaking and what was the first thing that I thought of before I went up on stage to give a speech or to give a presentation? Would you like to share? Would you like me to share this? My struggles with public speaking. Type a yes if you want me to share. If you type a no, I am going to jump off my condo immediately. I'm just kidding. Okay, now this No, I'm just joking, Dorian. I'm just joking. All right, don't worry. All right, so I mean, yes, what, Wendy? Now I'm confused, Wendy. Do you want me to jump off or do you want to hear? Oh, okay, okay. All right. Okay, let me start. This happened way back in school. I was about 16 or 17 years later Thursday in the class. It's been changed to Wednesday, Wendy, remember? I'll give you a reminder tomorrow. Anyway, okay, so this happened when I was 16 or 17 years old. Now, here's the biggest issue with my school. I don't know about you guys, but my school, we had a very special session. Every month, there was one victim, one student who had to go up on stage during assembly and give like words of encouragement. All right. And the worst part is we don't know who that person is until that assembly day every month. Okay. So there was one time assembly was in session. The principal goes up on stage and says, okay, gives his speech, and then he says, okay, next session, we're going to hear a motivational talk by one of our students who will be encouraging you because exams are coming up soon. All right. Finally, I'm at the back there praying, please don't pick me, please don't pick me, please don't pick me. You know what's the weird part about this? The harder you pray, when it comes to not wanting something, that thing happens to you, you know. All right. So the principal goes, okay, let's call upon Gurmit Singh to give the presentation to his classmates and his schoolmates. So I go up there. As I'm walking, I'm telling myself, you can do this, you will do this, you will do this. But just before I speak, just before I utter one word, right? In my mind, I start visualizing me forgetting my words. I start visualizing my failure. I start visualizing myself embarrassing myself in front of my classmates. All right. Now I'm going to stop there before I share the next part. What do you think happened next? What do you think happened next? Can you type out in the chat box? So, fainted. Wendy said I fainted. Okay. Nailed it. You forgot your words. What do you visualize happened exactly? I visualized myself failing. When I went up there, I said this, good morning, friends, classmates, and fellow students. Today, I want to talk to you about all right, so I couldn't continue. Okay, I couldn't continue, Wendy. Right, so I froze completely, and I told myself this. You know what, Gurmit, you're not good at speaking. You're not good at public speaking. You'll never be good. All right. Fast forward a few years later, I was in college. I was going to deliver a presentation. This time, I told myself, Gurmit, you're going to practice. You're going to study hard. You are going to make sure you nail the presentation. So fast forward a few days later, it is the presentation day for my college. I go up on stage, or rather go up in front of the classroom. I'm about to begin my presentation. Immediately, I start visualizing forgetting my words. That thing comes into my mind immediately. Forgetting my words. You're going to forget your words. You're going to do a bad job. You're going to freeze. You're going to make a fool out of yourself. And you know what? Same thing happened. I froze. I couldn't do it. After a few seconds, I told my lecturer, you know what, sir, I'm sorry, I cannot do this. Now, here's the worst part. As I am walking back to my seat, my lecturer says one word that I will remember for the rest of my life. This is the word he used. He said this, and he looked at me. He said this, useless. Let me ask you all this question. How would you feel if your lecturer said that to you? Can you type out in the chat box? Yeah. So I told myself, you know what? I am not good at this. I cannot do this. All right. I really cannot do this. calm down. Give TS call. All right. Okay. Now, fast forward a few years later, I had graduated. Yes, TS works. I don't know if it does or not. Okay, I don't want to know. All right. So anyway, fast forward a few years later, I already started working. I had this mindset, I'm not a good speaker. I'll never be a good speaker. Public speaking is not for me. After a while, my brother realized that I'm struggling with this. He told me this, Gurmit, why don't you come to this club called Toastmasters? Just join the club. Try to overcome your fear of public speaking. Try to overcome this weakness of public speaking. All right. You know what I told him? Hell no. Every time I'm about to speak, I visualize failure. I look at myself failing. I'm definitely not made for public speaking. I don't want to go. You know what my brother told me? Gurmit, there are many beautiful girls in my club. Next thing I know, I am wearing my jacket. I am getting ready. I'm telling my brother, when is the meeting? Right? So I go along with my brother, right, to the public speaking club called Toastmasters. Really, this happened. All right. I went there because he told me many beautiful girls. He was right. My brother was completely right. There were many beautiful girls in that class. Only one problem. All of them were married or they had a boyfriend. All right. He didn't tell me that part of the story. Okay. Now, here's the point. All right. On that day, once again, I did what is called an impromptu. Yeah, he left out that detail. All right. So in that club, there is a session called Table Topics, meaning it's an impromptu session. All right. So I attempted the session once again. Before I spoke, I visualized failure. I visualized freezing, and I froze. All right. I couldn't answer the topic that was given to me. But on that day, I decided, you know what? I'm going to sign up. I'm going to become a member. I am going to overcome this. Now, for the next 3 to 4 years, I struggled once again, forgetting my speeches, not being able to be confident when I'm speaking, until I met one guy by the name of Mervin. All right. He told me this, Gurmit, instead of thinking about how you're going to fail, imagine the audience liking a speech. Imagine you giving a speech in front of your audience and they are all standing up, giving you a standing ovation. Imagine that when you give a speech, everyone is laughing at your joke. Imagine that. All right. So I tried it. And you know what? For the first time in 4 years, I actually won a contest. All right. Fast forward 2 years later, I won the national contest, international speech contest in Toastmasters. I represented Malaysia in the year 2017 to the World Championship of Public Speaking in Vancouver, Canada. All right. Did I win? I got third place in the semi-finals, but that was a real big difference, from a guy who forgot the speech, forgot whatever I was going to say, to winning a speech contest, a national level speech contest, and representing Malaysia in the World Championship of Public Speaking. How did I do that? Thinking about success. So the next time you're about to give a presentation, just take 10 seconds before you go up on stage. Take a deep breath. All right. Think of your audience clapping for you. Visualize your audience clapping for you. Visualize them laughing at you. Visualize them nodding their heads and in agreement of what you have to say. When you do that, when you visualize success, chances of you forgetting your speech, forgetting your presentation will get lower. All right. So that's the first part, which is visualizing success. Now, the second one is obviously practice. So let me ask you all this question. Are you ready to practice? Type yes if you are, no if you're not. Bring it on. I don't know. Okay. All right. Wendy said, I don't know. Benny said yes. Yes and no. Heng said yes and no. All right. So this is how it's going to work. We'll do this for maybe 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Since we are running out of time. So what's going to happen? I'm going to ask you to volunteer yourself, or I'm going to pick you at random. What you're going to do is you're going to pick one of the 3 categories, either money, life, or option 1 or 2. All right. Now let me share with you what is what's going to happen. So once you have picked, for example, money. All right. You will have 5 topics here, and then you have to pick a color. So for example, let's say you pick black. I will reveal the topic to you. Once your topic has been given, you need to speak for a minimum of 1 minute and a maximum of 2 minutes. All right? Minimum of 1 minute, maximum of 2 minutes. Now, how do you know if you have spoken for a minimum of 1 minute? Just look at the background, my background, you will see a green background. Once you see a green background, meaning you have spoken for 1 minute. You see a yellow background, you have spoken for 1 minute, 30 seconds. When you see a red background, please stop speaking. Right? Okay, wow, why is this kind of data? All right, so who wants to try this? Or should I pick someone? All right, type ME if you want to volunteer yourself, or I will volunteer you at random. You don't have to get this right, okay? The objective is just to practice. All right, well done, Adrian. Okay, Adrian, you can unmute yourself and tell me which category would you like.
Start to choose. Hold on. I'll go with this or that.
All right, so this or that are option 1 or 2. Okay, so pick a color. Sorry?
Yeah. Like usually when it comes to the thing, I just choose my favorite color, blue.
All right, so Adrian, your topic is. Oh, wait, let me just go to my stopwatch.
Yes, or that.
All right, blue color.
Sure.
Your topic is. Would you rather be rich and unhappy or poor and happy? Would you rather be rich and unhappy or poor and happy? Over to you, Adrian.
Right. So I think when it comes to this kind of choices about being rich and unhappy or poor and unhappy, I guess it's a matter of which one I'm really prioritizing on, right? And personally speaking, what I really prioritize on, it's really like what I would like to feel every day of my life. So sure, it's great to have money, but I guess when it comes to the question of being both rich and unhappy, I think there's some truth towards that, because when you're rich, as some of us, you're always anxious. You always feel worried about your money getting stolen, perhaps. Maybe what if your kids got kidnapped and you have to give away your money? So of course, poor has its difficulties, but if as some of us, I could actually be happy in my daily life, even though I'm poor, even though I have to work hard, as long I get to have this immense joy to actually be alive in the first place. Sure, I may be poor, I may have to work a lot harder in my life, but I think the happiness can really simply just come from the fact that how I'm still alive today. It's really being content with what I already have that has been given to me. It's not that somehow I could earn all those things out from nothing. In fact, it's all graciously given to me. So just, I think being poor and happy, I think it's a good way of living, where I get to just be content with the things I already have and be grateful that I'm alive today. Yeah, I think that'll be all.
All right, thank you, Adrian. Well, within time, 1 minute, 48 seconds. So let's go to the reaction button and give him a clap or a love. Either or will do. Right, let's get the reaction button. Okay, well done, Adrian, and thank you for volunteering. I didn't expect that to happen, but thank you very much. All right, so would
Our
anyone
time is
else
ticking.
Yeah.
Our time is ticking.
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, anyone else wants to volunteer?
So I can go for it.
Okay, Benny wants to go. Let me just share my screen again. Okay, so this topic is done, the poor rich thing. Okay, so let me just go back to topics. All right, Benny, which one would you like to pick?
I'll go with money.
Money, okay. All right, so pick a color.
Purple.
Purple, okay. All right, Benny, your topic is, can money buy happiness? Can money buy happiness? Benny, over to you.
All right. Hi everyone, I'm Benny. I'm currently a undergraduate student in international business and marketing. Well, if you think about it, can money really buy happiness? I think you have to first define what happiness is to you. Well, some people may think that happiness is owning every single thing in the world that they might wish for, or they might need, or they might want. Some people might think happiness is just living a content life, like what Adrian said, having a meaningful life, doing what you love the most, and doing what that gives you happiness actually. And so when you say, can money buy you happiness? Well, to a certain extent, I think you may argue that it is true. Money indefinitely can actually buy you some form of happiness. For example, you get to buy certain things that you like to eat. You get to buy certain things that you want to have, like bags, shirt, or anything that you would love to have, or even a beautiful house, or a trip to Tokyo or New York, as you wish. Those things may probably bring you happiness, but a lot of times these things bring you a temporary happiness. Well, what I think is, what I truly believe is that money can't really buy you the genuine happiness, or I would say joy, that you would find in many other things that you can see in the world. For example, living a content life, going through nature's, being mesmerized by how the creation of God is around you, and just living at that moment, doing what is right and finding the true purpose of life. Well, I think that is happiness, and that is not something that money can necessarily buy you. And that's all from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Benny. 1 minute, 57 seconds. We are within time, so thank you very much, Benny. Now we have time for 2 more questions. So would anyone else like to try before I start picking people at random? Oh, we have a person who has been volunteered by another person. All right. So Jovan, would you like to try, since Sabrina graciously volunteered?
All right, I guess.
Okay. All right, let me just share my screen. Okay,
Alright.
can money buy happiness is done.
Uh-huh.
So which topic would you like to pick?
I guess I'll go for life.
Life, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, which one would you like to pick?
Purple.
Purple. All right. So Jovan, your topic is, if you only had 1 day to live, what would you do? If you had only 1 day to live, what would you do?
All right. So for me, I'm a type of guy to, like, in my daily life, I really try to keep everything productive. So if I had 1 day only, I would have spent those times with my family. Like in these times right now, I don't really spend my time with families. Really had to go through my assignments, education, all that. So family time is really limited nowadays. And if it was 1 day, I would spend my time going outside, because during this pandemic, I really can't go outside. It's been a year since I've last got out of this house. And I think spending time with friends, family, like maybe watching a movie with your friends, like spending quality time is really important for me, I think. Yeah. And Maybe some other activities that might be lasting, like memory lasting, even though I would like eventually perish. I would do something that's fun. I would like, even though I'll die, I'll like remember it, I guess, question mark. But yeah, that's all, I guess.
All right. So if you want to find a very dangerous activity, might I recommend bungee jumping?
Yeah, skydiving, all
Yeah,
that.
because I'll definitely not do any of those.
I'm like, eventually you'll die in that day. So like, what? And just do everything
Yeah,
that's
very
dangerous.
true.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jovan, for that. And thank you, Sabrina, for volunteering, Jovan. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. So I'm going to wrap up the last part, and then we are going to go through a quiz. Okay. So let me just go through this. Oops. Sorry. All right. So that is the practice where you do it. And finally, I think this one is probably the most important. At the end of your presentation, at the end of any speech or presentation that you give, it is always good to reflect, right? So you ask yourself these 3 questions. At the end of the presentation, ask yourself this: what did I do well? All right, very important. Ask yourself, what did I do well? The second question is, what can I do better? So the strengths that you already had, the things that you did well. Number 2, what can I do better? Number 3, what did I learn about myself? All right, what did I learn about myself? So when you reflect over your performance, when you reflect over your public speaking performance, you get better. Now, earlier I shared with you one of my mentor, his name is Mervin Sinaga. He shared with me this little quote. And his quote is this, and today I live by this quote no matter what I do, no matter which speech I give, no matter which training I give, which class I give. His quote is like this. This is what he told me, okay? Gurmeet, you are only as good as your next speech. You are only as good as your next speech. So if you want to constantly improve, so for example, today I give a speech or a training, tomorrow's training has to be better than today. How do I constantly do that? By using this reflective cycle. What did I do well? What can I do better? And what did I learn about myself? So remember, once again, visualize success, practice. The more practice that you do, the better you get. And number 3, after the presentation is done, after the public speaking speech is done, very important to reflect on your performance. So let me end today's session. Don't leave yet, because we have a very exciting quiz by this favorite quote of mine by Yoda: do or do not, there is no try. So if you want to improve in public speaking, do something about it, right? Join a club, practice, visualize success, reflect on your performance, or don't do it at all, right? So I'll throw this challenge to you guys. Do you want to sit at the side and admire your friends who are better, or do you want to become better than them one day, right? So if you find that you have a weakness, or rather you struggle in this area of public speaking, either do something about it or don't do anything about it, right? So that's my message to you. Now, we are going to go through a recap quiz to see if you have listened, or rather you remember what we have shared today. There is a very special prize to this quiz. There's no stress, Adrian. Very simple questions, right? So how do you answer this quiz? You have to answer in the chat box. Now, there is a prize for the winner. There is a prize for the winner, okay? Would you all like to know what's the prize? Type a yes if you want to know. What's the prize? Okay. All right. Wendy is completely right. The prize is a round of applause from me to you. I will clap really slow and I will say, well done. All right. Now, jokes aside, this is something that all right, jokes aside, that's an actual prize. The actual prize, that I think that's nice enough. All right. Okay, I will slow clap and say well done. All right, jokes aside, there's an actual prize. The prize is a 10 ringgit for you. Let's say you have a Grab, then I'll send you through Grab. If you don't have, then I'll send it to your bank. Only the winner gets it. Second place, what you will get is actually the round of applause. I will say well done. Try again the next time. Third place, yeah, you will get the same thing, right? So yeah, winner gets a 10 ringgit voucher for me. All right. So how is this going to work? I'm going to ask you questions. Is there a is that the certificate of participation? Yes. All right. Well done. All the best in the next time. Yeah. But don't worry, okay? So what's going to happen? I'm going to ask you 7 questions. If you are the fastest to type out your answer in the chat box, you win 1 point. You win enough points, you win today's quiz session. All right. So are you ready to begin? Type ready if you're ready to begin. Okay. All right. So let me just. Okay, I'm going to show the first question. Name 3 biggest challenges that individuals face in public speaking. Any 3 out of the ones that we shared today, or it could be any other challenge that you have faced personally. All right, no emotion, too dramatic, same style all the time. Well done. Question 1 goes to Adrian, who is the fastest. I think it's Adrian, right? Let me just check. Yeah, it's Adrian. Okay, well done, Adrian, for question 1. All right, so Adrian gets question 1. Let's go with question 2. All right, everyone is correct. Question 2 goes something like this. How many challenges with regards to public speaking was shared in today's session? Okay, Benny got this correct with 5. It was 5. Okay, so 5 challenges was shared. Okay, well done, Benny, for question number 2. So just like Chelsea and Manchester City right now, Adrian is 1. No, Chelsea won. All right, so think about it like a football match. Adrian won, Benny won right now. Okay, let's go with question number 3. What are the 3 steps in overcoming the fear of public speaking? What the hell? How are you able to type that fast, Adrian?
In your head.
Well, like, is he a typing champion of the world or something? Yeah. I swear I didn't leak the questions to Adrian. Okay, so there's no. Yeah. All right. So Adrian's in the lead. He can mind read exactly. This is shocking. All right. Next one. Name at least 1 question in the reflective cycle. The reflective cycle. Okay, let's see. What will I do? Wendy was the fastest, but it was incorrect. What did I do well? Okay, Chia Tien Heng got this correct. Yeah, Chia Tien. All right, that is question 4. Sorry, yep, question 4 goes to Chia Tien. What did I do well? All right, next one. Do or do not. There is no time. This quote was said by. Okay, let's see. How again? All right. Adrian, well done again for reading my mind. I swear I didn't leak the questions to Adrian. Right. So yeah, it was Yoda. Let's go through the next question, question 6. What are the 3 topics that we focus on for the impromptu session? I think he hacked your account. Maybe. Right. Money, life. Okay. All right. Haziq got question 6. Well done, Haziq. All right. So question 6 goes to Haziq. And let's go with the last question. Technically, Adrian has won the 10 ringgit, but still, let's go through the last question, okay? All right, the last question is this. What is the name of the trainer or facilitator? How? Look, I swear.
I actually really guessed whether you're gonna ask this question.
Adrian, how much you pay to get a 10 ringgit? Ayo.
All right, so those are the winners. Adrian, 4th time. Okay, everyone report Adrian. All right, so that's the end of this session. Let me just go put my number in the chat box. So that's my number. Adrian, please send me a WhatsApp to collect your 10 ringgit. By tomorrow, I will be, if you don't collect by tomorrow, I'll use that 10 ringgit to buy myself a plate of nasi kandar. All right, so please send me a message. They might, no, Adrian's not next to me, okay? Yeah, it does look the same, right? The background. I swear he's not next to me. White balls. Okay. All right. So before we end and get your feedback, are there any questions with regards to public speaking? If you want to ask me a question, you can ask me by unmuting yourself, or you can type out in the chat box. So we can do this for 5 minutes if you want to, or else we can go through the feedback immediately. Right? If you have no questions, just type no in the chat box. If you have a question, just unmute yourself now. Okay, and once again, yeah, go ahead. Adrian.
Sorry, I just wondering, like, when it comes to impromptu speech, like, what kind of advice do you have for us? Like, how do you do impromptu speech?
What I do normally, where I never run out of things to say, is so this one I learned from one of the most senior Toastmaster. He said, right, every time you see something interesting, note it down. For example, let's say you're going on LRT, right? I know recently the LRT knocked each other. Okay, let's not take that one. Let's say you're riding on the LRT, you see a fight breaking up. What that Toastmaster does is he immediately writes that down in a book. But for me, I write it in my phone, right? So I have a lot of stories at the back of my mind. Depending on the question, I can pluck out the stories from my mind. So my advice for you would be, yeah, probably that's what Adrian was doing just now. All right. So my advice would be to take note of all the interesting things that happen day to day. Take note of it. Put it down somewhere. It could be in your phone, could be on a piece of paper or a book. All right. And that way you never run out of things to say. Now, the second tip would be before you speak, breathe, take a deep breath, organize your thoughts in your mind, 10, 15 seconds, and then speak. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Adrian, for that question. Any other questions? No? All right. So before we end today's session, there is the evaluation session. Before you evaluate, let me tell you this. I need a favor from you guys. I'm not going to be one of those Grab drivers, okay? Tell you 5-star, please. I'm not going to do that. All right. All I want you to do is, if you like what I did today, be specific. What did you like about the session today? If you didn't like, all right, if you didn't like what I did, so be specific. For example, Gurmeet, you are the most boring lecturer on earth. Please kill yourself. All right. So be specific. What did you like? What did you didn't like? Okay. You can scan, or you can put it in can use the link that Dorian just shared in the chat box. Now, once you're done giving the evaluation, just type a done in the chat box so I know you're done. Don't leave yet. I have one last thing to share with you. And we'll take a group photo after this. Okay, thank you, Wendy. Don't leave yet. Give me another 5 minutes. I just have to share one thing. Thank you, Farahid. Okay, thank you, Avita. Thank you, Ijin. Thank you, Fong. Thank you, Yao Ming. Right, thank you, Hemani. Thank you, Maura. Thank you, Lim Yong. Thank you, Chin Tong. Everyone's going down very fast. I cannot read everyone's name already. So thank you, everyone. Okay, so most of us are done. Right, last thing is I'll be sharing this. This is how you can contact me from Facebook. My name is Gurmit Singh. Right, Instagram, my name is LORD Lord Dane V5. Why is that my name on Instagram? That was a stupid email I created when I was a college student. So don't judge me, please. All right. Please add me if you want to on Instagram. You know, I didn't have an Instagram until last year. And you know why I had an Instagram? Because after one of my semesters, right, one of my students asked me this, "Sir, I had a lot of fun in your class. Can I get your Instagram account?" Right? And then I told the student, I don't have an Instagram. You know what the student said? "Sir, you know why you don't have an Instagram? It's because you're an old man." So I started an Instagram last year. So I need a few friends. So if you want to add me, go ahead. If you want help in terms of like crafting a speech before an interview, before a presentation you want to practice, feel free to reach out to me from through my email or my WhatsApp over there. All right, so for Adrian, I signed up on Facebook after my mom sent me an invite. All right, so Adrian, please send me a WhatsApp message on this number to claim your 10 ringgit, or else I will claim it for myself tomorrow with a big bowl of nasi kandar. All right, so let's end today's session by asking you if you could describe today's session in just one word. Today's session in just one word, what would that word be? Can you type out in the chat box? Lit, impactful, insightful, informative. Keep the ego boosting words coming. Okay, interesting, just like what I wrote. Awesome. Okay, fantastic, interactive, entertaining. Okay, thank you for stroking my ego and thank you for being honest. All right, so that's the end of today's session. Before we end, let's take a group photo. So can everyone just turn on your camera so we can take a group photo? Now, like I mentioned earlier, I just started my Instagram account last year. There are not many photos. I want to include a few more photos so it doesn't look dead. Right? Every time my students asking me like, "So why haven't you posted in months?" It's bloody awkward. All right, so okay. Let's give others a few more seconds to turn on your cameras. Right, while I'll be getting the snipping tool for this. It changed profile picture. All right, so I see Adrian has messaged me, so I will send you your 10 ringgit in a moment after the session. All right, okay, there is 3 pages, so be patient, okay? So let's look at the camera right now. Okay, I'm going to do a countdown, 3, 2, 1. You want to do anything, it's up to you. You want to do the Oppa Gangnam Style Love. You want to do this. I don't know what else. This, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it, okay? Right, so 3, 2, 1. Okay, keep the thing there. Give me a second. Let me just save it. All right, going to the page 2, hold your smiles, hold your smiles. Okay. All right. Okay, we are done for today. Okay, we are done for today. So thank you for coming and thank you for participating. And I'll see you when I see you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Seal. Thank you, Gurmeet.
You're welcome. Let me just pass the host back to you.